Hello, why don't you come in for a spot of tea?
And murder.
What's up, everybody? Jared here with another cautionary movie review. So last night I went out to the new thriller starring Chloë, Grace, Moretz, Greta. Frances finds a handbag on the subway and promptly returns it to Greta. Having recently lost her mother, Frances strikes up a seemingly harmless friendship with the lonely widow. But when their relationship becomes toxic, Frances fears for her life. So is Greta a horrifying thriller? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of Greta in the comments down below. Was this the wild thriller you were hoping for, or was this very much a watered down story? Now let's get into some of the good. Going into Greta, I was 100% on board for this movie ever since the first trailer of just kind of this mysterious old woman, this young girl, kind of this thriller aspect. Like, I was on board for this movie, and I'm happy to say that like that tone that's kind of in the trailer is very reminiscent in this movie as well. And aside from this kind of like ominous tone, one of the highlights of this movie is Isabelle Huppert. I think that's who plays Greta. This French actress perfectly embodies this Greta character. You know, she's loving, she's caring, she's charming, but then maybe a little bit unstable over here. Like one minute she's this sweet old lady. Can I get you a spot of tea? But then completely devolves into this stalker, borderline psychopath. Hello, Francis. She is by far the driving force in this movie, definitely one of the spotlights, one of the highlights of this movie, keeping that thriller kind of horror vibe throughout most of the movie. I will also give a nod to the kind of the tone and uneasy feeling that's set throughout Greta. I mean, you got a little bit of that in the trailers, but the movie, throughout this whole movie, it's very uneasy. And you see how becoming friends with a stranger quickly spirals out of control, and you have to see how Chloë kind of navigates these situations. However, I almost feel betrayed, but there is a lot of material in Greta that just did not land for me. And the biggest thing that just didn't land for me was the overall story. It was just, why am I even watching this movie? Unfortunately, it comes off as very much predictable. Someone finds this handbag, returns the handbag person is like, hey, let's be friends. It is revealed that handbag person is a stage 5 clinger, and then bonkers ensue. From the trailers, you knew that this was going to happen, which there's no problem with that, but the thing is, it doesn't really evolve or step it up from there. And this is where the second thing kind of comes into play. The story, there's a lot of setup, but the story never dives deep into any of those concepts. You know, there's a lot of stuff kind of revealed. There's little tidbits here or there, but it never fully goes in deep on those details. It never gets into the details. It's a very much surface level movie. Something happens over here. You're kind of like, what's going on? The movie's like, you don't need to worry about what's going on over there, and goes over here. There's a lot of different details, characters, just little kind of aspects that are brought up, but instead the movie kind of just slaps you in the face, is like, ignore that. We're going on with this very predictable plot, and we're not going to get too deep into the details. The word that came to mind is clunky. This was a very clunky execution, and it kind of took the, hey, let's finish our homework 5 minutes before it's due approach to this overall movie. This in turn affects the editing in Greta. I gotta say, the editing in this movie is jarring to say the least. A lot of scenes play out, you know, the characters, they're going off and doing this next thing, and then it's like, boom, hard cut, they're off, now they're having dinner together, and then they're over here, and now they're fighting. It just felt very disjointed. I think that if they would have maybe moved a few scenes around, maybe let them play out a little bit longer, this movie would have flowed better, kind of more cohesiveness in between the scenes. But yeah, it's very jarring, you know, it's like nighttime over here, daytime over here. In reality, I have no idea how much time plays out. Again, the word I'm going to use here is clunky. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have a lot of usable footage or takes that didn't really work out that well. But yeah, it's a little bit all over the place. And lastly, the pacing in Greta made it feel like one of the longest movies I've ever watched. Like, clocking in at, 96, 98, somewhere around 100 minutes. That should be a quick movie. It should fly by. But no, you are sitting there. Scenes are dragging out. This feels like a 3-hour movie. The reveal that Greta is crazy, which happens in the trailer, is revealed within the maybe first 15, 20 minutes. The next hour is just played out, all of these different things kind of scaring her until, you know, the end of the movie. It just, that middle part, the setup is great, the middle part not so much, so that's what drags this movie on. Overall, Greta is a movie that I like the idea of more than I actually like the way that the movie played out. With Isabelle Huppert's performance and some decent tones, but with it being predictable, never diving into the details, really clunky editing, and it just dragging on. I'd unfortunately skip out on Greta. There's a good story in there, but it just never really reaches its potential. In closing, I'm going to give Greta 1.3 out of 5 Subway handbags. So what did you guys think of Greta? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos over there. You know, there's ranking videos, reactions, more movie reviews, fun comedy stuff. Check them out. If you haven't already, check out all my social media stuff down there. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, click that little bell icon, stay up to date on all of my videos. And until next time, I'll see you later.